Hi, Scorpios. Come on in if you'd like to have a seat for some symbolic support. Here is your ink blot I've made in your, name and essence. We've got the sun like blasting through here. Is that helpful? Okay. If you want to take a screenshot, we'll add on tarot and oracle. And as well, we've got the ghost tube here kicking for any audio additions that may inspire or irritate. So receive or release freely, of course. So thank you for being here. I'm going to take a moment if you'd like to join me to close the eyes. Cleansing the palette of perception, releasing the race and the rush. Activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support. All right, let's scry the aura of Scorpio. I was going to say Oreo of Scorpio. Oreo, Cheerio, chap. Okay, I feel like this is like... Okay, so there is like a super amount of sun suddenly like coming in, even though I've got my blinds partially closed. But even in your ink blot, there's something golden trying to come in. If not, you're already feeling it. For some, it might be somebody in spirit, particularly a sun that has passed. And it's like they're hugging you. For others, it's somebody you would consider... you are my sunshine with. You know what I mean? Like they, when they were in density, they just brought sunshine into your life because I'm hearing that song. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. So it could be a child, like I said, a son, or just somebody who brought sun into your life. And they're still doing that. They're still doing that. There might be, whether they were in the hospital for something. So for some, they might have passed in the hospital versus at home. But if I'm looking at this in one space, Scorpios, I'm just going to go follow the rabbit holes as they come through. It's like if this is a space of grief, because I'm seeing like a shadow of a person up there. And though the ink blot didn't, make its way all the way over, it still has there's like a communication at this cliff where I feel separation. Now, this could be within the self. This could be the past versions of me outgrowing. It could be I'm talking to my inner child. I feel like if I'm saying that, when I say inner child, I'm specifically talking to the sacral energy. So there could be something held in that age. And I understand that it's, but I feel like from, 0 to, 8 or 0, and then 8 to whatever, and it continues on. There's like this growth ladder of the sacral, but it feels like I'm talking to the sacral. But I feel like there's a crevice of separation I'm trying to communicate. But then there's something up here. There's an older gentleman, and he wears like a brimmed hat. Okay, so one respect, that might be somebody to somebody, but the way I'm sensing it, it's like you guys are sharing the grief. It's felt, but then all this golden sun comes in. I'm seeing it like almost like a dragon, and they're flying in. If you're to see okay, so it's like a dragon, but imagine if a hummingbird, and you're seeing the hummingbird sideways, like fluttering to get the nectar. Now imagine that hummingbird is a dragon. That's what it is. It's not about the size or the scope of it because it's very large, but that's how like majestic it is in this small thing. And maybe even the hummingbird is a symbol for you of this dragon-like energy that comes around.
Sarah.
Yeah, because they're in spirit. Like their fog of the veil has lifted, but that doesn't mean there's not a feeling of knowing, trying to communicate, to send a message. And even if this is within the self, it's like that concept of saying,
my baby.
Trying to like logically, or, within this space, think of what your higher self would do, or think of this, or think of what the spirit would say, think about what your loved one would say, but asking it out loud, and being open to receive a message symbolically through animals, through favorite dishes, seeing somebody's favorite dish is coming through, like, oh, this was Joshua's favorite dish, or Michael's favorite blanket or Susan's favorite chair, whatever the case may be, something along that lines. Like it'll be just something that will pop up because you've asked, versus try to think. Do you know what I'm saying? I hope hopefully that helps somebody. When I wander down here, I'm seeing okay, it could be a monkey, but I can never remember what they're called, so I'm going to butcher this, and I apologize. Lemurs? I feel like they have like raccoon coloring, but they kind of look like a monkey, but also like a squirrel. They've got this tail. Hopefully you know what I mean, if that symbol means anything to anyone. And then there's something else happening up here I'm not quite sure of. Something about the bridge of, like the bridge of the nose or the nostrils. Somebody might plug their nose when swimming. I don't know why that's coming through. Or just jumping in the water. That could also be emotional waters. And it's like I'm plugging my nose. You know, you don't want water to go up your nose that has a horrible feeling. And maybe I'm just like applying that into deep feeling. Like, alien. You know, dropping into the waters like a cannonball. And I have to contend with like water might be going up my nose kind of feeling. So I'm plugging my nose. Somebody also might have on the other rabbit hole, very dry nose. Where you are could be very dry right now, or I'm having a symptom of dry nose and there could be like a bleeding nose. This also might be an indication of somebody who did pass, and that might have been a trigger of like, oh, something might not be okay here. They have a lot of bleeding noses. Maybe they were in a fight. I'm not sure, hun. Sorry. If these, I do try my best when I'm in the spirit messages specifically to interact with it, but this is more so for you. So, but probably. Sorry. We're going to continue on here. Okay, so there's 2 layers of dragons happening. This golden dragon that, even though it's very large, I'm seeing it the size of a hummingbird. And then I'm seeing like an emblem of press. You know, I want to press the emblem. Like I want to press it like could be like a pin somebody has. Again, another tangible thing. You know, if you know, Grandma Dorothy passed and left me a pin, or somebody else like with a racing pin or something like that. Okay, because I'm seeing it like a family crest of sorts, because I'm seeing it in like Game of Thrones where each of the houses, I'm horrible at remembering it, but each of the houses have like a thing, right? Like whether it's, I don't know, but you know, it's like an animal or something. There's some sort of sigil, and that's how I'm seeing it. So it's something in the family being passed down. I'm also seeing one of those hats from, I was going to say from when I was a kid, but I think they still make them nowadays for adults. You know, it's like a winter hat or a winter toque is at least how we know it here in Canada. And then it also has the ear flaps. Oh, my hair's a mess. Yeah. Is there something I'm not hearing about my family? I'm going to start adding on some tarot and oracle here, Scorpios. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for being here with me. I'm so grateful for all those who like, share, and subscribe, as well to those who donate and request personals. Like, you warm my haunted heart. So thank you so, so much. Window? Yeah, the window's very bright. It's very sunny here today. Well, it's actually not sunny. It's just, I don't know, coming in this way. All right, Scorpios. I want to dig into the something about a salamander. Is that a salamander? Salamander might have some sort of significance to somebody. I feel like it's what's that word? Like, it has a meaning to it in a different culture or religion. I don't know what I mean by different. Like, maybe different from yours. Like, if you were to Google salamander, it could mean this in this world, or even in a different timeline. And I feel like is something else other than maybe your go-to, right? If you typically go to like, oh, what angel meaning number or dream meanings, or you never look at the dream meanings. You only, look at it from a religious context, and you might look at a salamander dream meaning. And I feel like that might spark something. The hologer. Again, of course, if it means anything to you, please follow it. I read the artistry. So see how he's like gazing into a lotus here, and then there's the golden orbs behind him. I want to place that right in that salamander spot. And though it might look all black here, where before I saw, did I even say, or did I just talk inside? There's like gentlemen of grief here, like wearing a brimmed hat. I'm not sure if I said it out loud, so I apologize. But then it merges into purple, right? That deep wine, purple rain is coming through. Is that Prince, Purple Rain? Anyway, I want to plop.
I'm not sure how.
The hologer right there. There's that time thing. There's all the clocks. And when I say the time thing, I mean, I'm referencing the way I'm feeling as in, I usually look things up in one context, but I'm going to read it, out of curiosity or sheerly of widening something, a perspective. What does salamander, as an example, salamander mean? From a biblical text or from dream meanings. That's a funny message that somebody, Scorpios, maybe you're resonating, because something's going on here, because now I'm also seeing, there we go, these as wings. So it's almost like where your psychic energy, it's not so much that it lives in the shadows, but it is in the esoteric world, right? The inner empathic realm. The way it gets exoterically exposed, like the inner, that only the few may know what you're working on, or you have this inkling of your psychic abilities or griefs coming forward. That's what it feels like. But then when it's expressed as light. Yes, it feels like I'm expressing it as light. Like I know I have wings.
Smoke.
I know I have wings. And it's kind of like there's smoke around you, like if you're feeling Roadrunner style, but because I feel like it's very quick. I have the Three of Leviathans and the Stricken Tower coming up here. And again, I don't know if I said it when I first saw it. Isn't that weird? I'm having like weird memory lapses. Like your whole ink blot felt electric to me. I just felt electricity. And we're only going to scry from this direction in this reading. And then next round, I'll flip it for perspective possibilities, because that's always fun. Again, did I say like, share, and subscribe? Scorpios, is there something going on with time and memory, or maybe somebody passed with Alzheimer's or dementia? There could be something along that lines. There's a helping. So if you went through a stricken tower, okay, on one hand, I want to know this strictly feels electricity, right? I'm a battery that's full, esoterically, inner, and exoterically, it's going to come out like electricity, very emotionally charged. The horologer's like asking me to reflect upon that, because you got like big balls. I don't know. Or bits, you know what I mean? It's almost like to go where you're going to go, to do what you're going to do. Now, on the other hand, this is about the grief. The other rabbit hole is opening up, whether it was the sun or somebody that was your sunshine. And their passing is like the breaking of the honeycomb. And it just feels like the aftermath of it. You know what I mean? Like the tss, and around it, like the eye of my psychic abilities. Okay, Scorpios, for those, I got to jump in. For those that, when I was talking about the psychic abilities or your gifts, call them what you will, your sensitivities that are your superpowers. they can feel
House.
like a tower moment, because once you see things, once you sense things, and it becomes heightened, or you fine tune it, right? You might want to tweak your clairaudience and lower your clairsentience, whatever the case may be. But something, once you see, you can't unsee it, right? But you can tweak to be like, okay, whenever you're in certain predicaments or situations with people, places, or things, even looking at the mirror of the self, most importantly, always starting at home, right? Trying to change or inflict change upon others, superpowers or not, it's like that induces a lot of karma. And I feel like Scorpios have like felt the effects of that. So there's a wisdom coming into play of how to harness my own power without incurring karma in one respect. Maybe you're going to be working more with the good karma. If it's in regards to somebody who passed, I do feel like they're like they might have had to been revived or tried to be revived with
Don't leave me.
with those things. And at the same time, somebody else might have been plugged in, and there's somebody else saying, and then you had to make the choice to unplug them. That was their wish. That's what they wanted. So watching that tower moment fizzle, that power fizzle, this cord that was like an umbilical cord, but this electrical cord of this person plugged in, and they, how you had to make the choice to unplug them and release that current. That was their wish. Maybe it wasn't written, maybe it wasn't said the way so everyone could feel confident or comfortable, but it was their wish. It was their wish. And they very much so feel that it helped them go to the other side really, really quickly, because that's where it's like they were waiting in limbo, because respectfully, the love of drawing people to stay alive. They're still alive. They're still alive, just obviously in a different density. But they understood why there was hesitancy. They for you to do the right thing. Anyway, I'm carrying on here. The spiritual gifts is coming through again. Also something about Britain specifically. I don't know if that's a place you're thinking about going, or you're from Britain or the UK. Or there's something about the energy of Britain right now. Is there something going on? I don't know. I don't really keep up on
What do you want?
On events. Just the one? Okay. So I'm back in the hologer. And Against the Grain is coming through. So I feel like I just dived right into here. And then we have Against the Grain. This is what it's making me feel like, if at some point in time, like a past version of yourself, if this isn't about somebody else around you, you might have been going against your own grain, or sensing that, or like, why are things tough? Why is this difficult? Apply whatever wordage kind of feels good. And I feel like you're going with the grain now. There's some sort of structure and ability that's coming in by gazing upon the petals of your personality, by gazing upon the many leaves of
boat.
Yeah. It's on water, so this feels very emotional. It's like looking at a blooming onion, and there's so many layers, looking at the optics of the eye, of the way you see and perceive things. And, many people wish or want to heighten their gifts, and then when they do, it's unbelievable, or it's not what they wanted it to be. It's not what they thought it would be like. And I feel like you have at least 3 of them on the go pretty prominently. And it's like coming to that resolution that this is how I'm seeing right now. This is how it is. And I'm going to work through that. Okay. Scorpio's getting ready to close out here. I have joy and pain. Keep it going in the sunshine and rain. I want to place that right in there with the dragon.
Healthy.
The joy. It's so healthy. Okay. I really... Is there anything else that I'm seeing? I have invisibility, midnight, the most magical hour of all, and authenticity. So this is bringing me into that. If I, there we go, up here. If I ever spoke of the gentleman with the hat, the brimmed hat, and the gray of the lemurs, and in
Am I
here
dead?
I can't remember what they quite were. You are alive, just in a different density. I want to like put in Scorpios your authentic self that may have been invisible before is very, very visible to others that, for simplicity's sake, I'll say in alignment. But there are others who see the way you do. This isn't about sameness. Oh, I see this. It's the spectrum, but everyone's willing to see what they perceive, right? And I feel like that's kind of where I'm at. And this feels very exoteric to me. Some sort of cloak comes off when I wish to express, and then the cloak goes back on when I'm introvertedly nurturing something. I also feel like I'm in the like well into the eye there. Maybe you're seeing your own authenticity, a different version of you, because there was a passing of you, even a passing of a person, but of like a portion of you. Somebody else might be a guide. You might very much so be a guide here, walking on earth, walking, talking, Scorpio. And you are, it can feel, and that's an interesting way to sense it. It's like you might feel like sometimes you're like the Grim Reaper. But a Grim Reaper is also a guide, right? And maybe for some Scorpios, it's been just a series of unfortunate events. Okay. But realigning them or stepping out of them to see, like there's another clock, like going through the timelines of perception and going, oh, okay. So these series of unfortunate events may have something to do from a different reality where you were, maybe you were a royal and there were things, personalities or the way one leads, and you've come back in this life to reap the other expression of being on the other end of that for a bigger perspective. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be that, but it's like things have turned, things have flipped as the world turns. The most magical hour of all, it's like it's midnight, and now you've had this dream like Scrooge in the Christmas Carol, and something. Skull of illumination. Now you know something. I don't know how else to say that. You just know something now. And now that knowing, that gift, that sense of seeing, intuition is on the bottom here. And we were talking about that, right? Boop, plop it right in there. It is real. You're right. It is real. Not everyone in your reality may understand that, but it's real. The conversations you may have when you sit and speak with spirit of a loved one, of a god, of a deity, whatever the case may be, source, creation, insert any word, instead of trying to constipate and apply what we think to them, we ask and we converse. It's like prayer. But it's not stuck to the paradigm of prayer. It's just the power of it, of having a conversation with creation and allowing it to all come, not flooding in where you gotta, plug your nose and embrace, but to see where the flow goes versus trying to force it in a way we want it to be, think it should be. We know better, so it should look this way. No matter, okay, so I can go on and on, Scorpios, but hopefully you understand this, because this is pretty significantly powerful from within and without. because you're like a walking, talking guide. And if you feel that that's not your gift, that you are a walking, talking guide incarnate, then please know that you have spirit around you that is your guide, and they're very close, and they come forward out of the shadows of grief, and they come forward when you're playful, when you're feeling, like I'm seeing like a baby giraffe as well, and you just want to play, and you just want to be held, and you just want to feel a heartbeat again, and the warmth of that person that you love, or the life, to bring life, the love of life back in. If you've been going through grief or going through your shadow work or dark night of the soul, apply any term that feels good to you. But no matter what, I will leave you here, because what a polarity that is really a partnership, right? Midnight and joy. This is like, it's turning in your favor. Again, we talked about that shift, that awareness to understand how my output creates causes and effects. And Scorpios, it's like over your lifetime here and now, to others, you're having this awareness of being, remembering, calling upon the other, being in the energy of the effects as well. So your wisdom is wise, wise, wise. Closing out, we have here dawn, the light after the darkness, midnight, joy. Scorpios, thank you so much for being my muse. And until next time, thank you so much for being my muse, for holding space for me to share my insights and allowing me to be a guest in your aura. All the links are below if you'd like to request a personal, donate through Buy Me a Coffee or PayPal. Everything's always appreciated, or just a good old-fashioned like or share. Found that this is a thing too, you can share. That's amazing. So until next time, Scorps, thank you.